Welcome back to USF 2000 AI League Season 4. We're here at Phillip Island for race 10 of 25 this season. We just came off of Indianapolis, so we had some big point shakeups. We'll talk about those later, but we are currently underway for qualifying right now. 83 of Gus Fring currently farthest on the track. Phillip Island, as you can see in the track map, very flowy, only about two really tight turns. The hairpin they just came out of, and then there's another tight turn before you go onto the front stretch. But because of how fast the front stretch is, you're gonna have a lot of drafting, and you're gonna have a lot of passes going into that first and second turn. As we almost have some contact coming out of pit road between Sussus Amogus and I believe that to be Jacques Croissant. They almost came out in front of each other. So if you time it right, you can definitely get a good lap time in. Now the two that have set times, that was just their out lap. All of the pit stalls are behind the start finish line, so you're not going to see actual times until next time around. As we see the 46 up at the top of your screen, as went off track, that is Wine Silliman. Gus Fring now currently tracking pink, but he's going to be coming up on some traffic soon. Fast, flowy, full throttle section over here. Phil Slow has a pink in the first sector. Phil Slow's been statistically the best at qualifying so far, but he hasn't really been able to convert in the races. Gus Fring currently pink in the second sector. Let's see if he can keep it to the third sector. So his time will be a 1:31 to 1:31.3. So it's gonna be, so that's your time to beat currently now on a pink is Phil Slow. As Spring Roll hit a pink, but he was still just a little bit off. John Panini goes third. Let's see what Phil Slow's got. He's now onto the front stretch. No car in front of him to really draft off of, which isn't going to be very helpful, but it will be good enough for pole position by about half a second so far. 1:30.8 is your time to beat. So Phil Slow currently on pole position right now, but there's still a lot of time left in qualifying. Obviously, it is not done. As May Borowski goes second with a 1:31.3. Gonna have to see how that will hold up. As Sussus Amogus got a pink. But now Gus Fring goes back to first, and John Panini is on a fast lap. Getting a good draft off of that 42. That should be pole position. Yes, it is, by about 3/10. It was a very good lap. Must have timed it just perfectly to get some really good drafts off the 42. And now Springroll is in second. Phil Slow moves up into third. Spencer Alfredo currently on a good lap time. Let's see how this goes. It's good enough for fourth position, about 4/10 off the top time. As the 32 has gone off track. I don't know if he hit the wall, but we're gonna have to watch. All 25 cars have now set a lap time. As Chris gets a pink in the final sector, but it's only good enough for 11th. As Gus Fring now shoots into first by about a 10th. But John Panini is back on a pink, but then he had a yellow in that second sector. So let's see if his third sector can override that. It does not look like it'll be an improvement. Just by a little bit. Beijing Beef now up to fourth. As OxyClean is currently on a good lap. It's had a rough last couple races. Let's see where he can qualify. He is definitely getting a good draft. Gonna be first by 1/1000th of a second. Just above that 83. That is very close. We'll see if OxyClean's time will hold up. By 1/1000th of a second, he is ahead of Gus Fring. As we see the 18 go off and into the wall. I've seen a couple of incidents in qualifying, so that could be a warning of what this race will be like. Gus Fring coming into pit road, he will not be able to beat the time. Chris down in 22nd, currently coming across the line. It's an improvement to 9th, because that could have been a really rough qualifying. This track, it's all about being able to just draft and get that good suck up to the car in front to pull you along around that front, fast front straightaway. As Max Cold now goes up to fourth, right behind his teammate. OxyClean just hits the line, he'll be able to go again. I think the Faber is the first car that won't be able to do another lap. Currently in 5th though, so that would be one of his best qualifyings. I think that would actually be his best. As the Sun moves up to 19th, his teammate. David Bialowas on a good lap. Could it be pole? He doesn't really have a car right in front of him to draft onto the front straightaway. It's going to be close. As Tetsu goes first, followed by David Bialowas, who just beats him by 1/10. Dave Bialowas and now Tetsu on the front row. Can anyone try and beat that? Dave Bialowas currently on pole. Can it be beat? It doesn't look like that will be beat. So David Bialowas on pole for the first Australian Grand Prix down here at Phillip Island. So now we take a look at your starting grid. We see David Lois on pole by 1/10 over Tetsu Tetsu. It was very close in qualifying. There you go. And then row 2, OxyClean. Okay, I don't know why it doubled up, but OxyClean just ahead of Gus Fring in row 2. And then row 3, we have teammates John Panini and Max Cold. And then row 4, the father and points leader Spring Roll. And then row 5 is Beijing Beef and May Borowski. And then row 6 is Phil Slow and Chris, who's currently second in the championship. Row 7 is Eliza Doe and Wine Silliman. And then row 8 is Chad Broski and Diogo Sebastio. And row 9 is Spencer Alfredo and Saul Goodman. And then row 10 is Jacques Croissant and The Sun. Row 11 is Ijiro Karishima. I don't know if I said that right. I still haven't learned how to pronounce it. And Missing Sock. And then we go on to row 12, Rogero Espinel and Susa Samogus. And then rounding out the field is Mahavir Raghunathan over a second off the 24th place car. So now let's take a look at your championship standings coming in. Spring Roll moves up into first by about 31 points ahead of Chris after the double points from Indy. Then you got his teammate Beijing Beef in third. Then it's Gus Fring, Tetsu, Max Cold, Phil Slow, Saul Goodman, Karishima, John Panini, Diogo Sebastio, Eliza Doe, Chad Broski, Wine Silliman, David Lois, The Father, Missing Sock, Spencer Alfredo, and then down here OxyClean has just had a rough last couple races. He has fallen all the way down outside the top 10 and now into 19th in just the span of a couple weeks. And then May Borowski moves up into 20th. Jacques Croissant falls down to 21st. Then Susa Samogus in 22nd. The Sun in 23rd. 24th is Rogero Espinel. And then in last is Mahavir Raghunathan. So now let's take a look at your team standings. By 4 points, Spring Speed, which is Spring Roll and Beijing Beef's team, is now ahead of Chris's team, the Silly Snorters, that's Los Polos Hermanos, the Flat Earthers, Team YouTube, the Magenta Saucies, BFL Racing, the Graveyard, the Laundry Boys, La Vitesse, Ruidam Sebastio Racing Foot, the Italian Mob, Team RAS, and Raghunathan Racing. Let's take a look at your race info. So it's a very nice 65 degrees, track temp of 73 degrees, a 2 and 3/4 of a mile circuit. It's partly cloudy as usual, and then 10 miles per hour for wind. So now we are currently awaiting the green flag. So David Lois will be on pole. I think this is his first pole of the season. Currently just kind of playing catch up in the championship battle. Tetsu in the top 5. OxyClean definitely gonna have to try and go for some redemption this race. And then Gus Fring definitely just wants to get up there in points again. Last race was a very close finish. Tetsu finished third, I believe. Lost out by a 100th of a second. It was only 2 thousandths off of second place. It was only 8 thousandths off first place. Engine starting to fire up. As David Lois rolls off in front of the field. It's gonna be a draft party down to this first turn. This race could also have a pretty close finish if the field stays grouped together. And then you see teammates back there in row 3 with the 50 and the 51. And then championship leader back there in 7th. He's going to be making aggressive moves. One at Indy in a photo finish. As I said earlier, it was really close. The Phillip Island, a very technical track, but it's also very fast. There's a lot of really fast turns. This is one of the slowest turns. It's probably also one of the best passing opportunities. I mean, the first turn you can do flat out. Keep your foot on it and then go all the way. So my prediction before the race, since I should probably say one, I think someone from the second row is my pick to win. I was right last week. Let's see if we can be right again. I think OxyClean's going to be very aggressive. We did see him have speed earlier in the season at Imola and in Gusfring. We know definitely has the speed. So now here we go around the final couple turns. It's a fast final turn. Pace car is off. And now we start picking up the speed. David Lois on the outside, coming out of that last turn, but he's going to be on the inside for that next turn. He gets a good jump. OxyClean also gets a good jump. He's already trying to get past Tetsu. Gus Fring is also there. Now as we go into turn 1. Tetsu's going to go a little bit wide, but it's kind of helped. He's closed back into David Lois. OxyClean trying to go around the outside. If he can stick there, he'll have the inside going into the next turn. Here we go, down into the tight turn. OxyClean's still just there. But Tetsu now pulls ahead, and now OxyClean will lose a spot to Gus Spring. And may lose another spot to John Panini. He's currently in 5th place, but OxyClean will just get in front of him. As OxyClean shoots around the outside, he's into the grass. Keep it off the wall. Oh, what another horrible race. It's already getting off to a really bad start for OxyClean. As now we head onto the front stretch. Tetsu now gonna have to try and draft off that 16, but the 83 is gonna be right there. The 83 now going to the inside. The 83 is still there, gonna have to go around the outside now, here in turn 2. The field's still really close together. The Favre now scooting into 4th place. It was a really good start for him. As now Tetsu's gonna try and go around the outside of the 16 as the 16 locks up. but stays ahead as now V83 moves into second, and Tetsu falls back to fourth. As I said, it is very technical. You can easily lose a couple spots in the span of a second. So now we go downhill into the hairpin. If you get a good exit out of this turn, you could be setting yourself up for good success going down into turn 1. 2 laps already completed. John Panini did have the fastest time, but now Beijing Beef takes it, and now Saul Goodman has it. As the 50 gonna try and go to the inside of the 83, as the 83 trying to go around the outside of the 16. But the 83 has to back out just a little bit, but the 50 and the 83 are still side by side. John Panini gonna have to be on the outside going into this next turn, as he just gets ahead. As I saw in the back, the father trying to fight around Tetsu. The father won a special Christmas series. As now May Borowski gonna try and go around Max Cold right back there. As now at the front, it's getting pretty close. John Panini just closing in. Down the hill, can't get him quite there. See how he fares on the next couple turns. A little bit behind. The 83 gonna have to try and use that to his advantage. Second place has just kind of rotated around this race. David Bailoa sets the now fastest lap with a 1:30.2, but OxyClean now sets the fastest lap. He's already up to 20th. He's already passed a couple cars. And now, look at the 50 going the long way around. And it's almost pulled it off. And now, I think it's safe to say he has. Now he has. But that 16 has been late breaking into that turn so far. But the 16 may have to worry about that 83. Big moves. That's what you're gonna have to do to try and get around at some of these places. As now David Bailoa just stays ahead of that 9 car. The 83 is gonna be on that 50. John Panini took the lead with a very ballsy move around the outside in turn 2. The 83 not as close. But now he's going to try and lunge around the outside the same way the 50 did. And the 83 now goes to the lead. And now John Panini going to have to defend from David Bailoa, who moves into second. So John Panini, in the span of one turn, went from first to third. David Bailoa now going to be tracking down the 83. No one has been able to escape the field. This has been a good race so far. David Bailoa goes a little wide, but he's already back in line. Didn't really lose too much. Now he's gonna have to try and draft. But now the 50 on the inside of the 16 as they go into turn 1. Turn 1 really sets up for turn 2. The 50 not going around the outside like he did earlier. 16 able to hold him off. As now the 69 of the Faber has now gotten around the 9 of Tetsu for 4th place. As we now have a side-by-side battle up at the front, the 83 just holding off the 16, as the 69 is now battling and goes into 3rd position after passing. John Panini is now Tetsu just edging ahead, but now they're going to be about even after that turn. As now John Panini holds on to 4th place. OxyClean has been slowly cutting his way through the field, just making slow but steady progress. Already back up to 17th, so he's definitely one of the fastest cars out here. Let's see if he can get back into the top 10 by the end of this race. He's now back here. David Bialois actually got passed by the Faber, who is on an absolute tear right now, as OxyClean has gone off the track again, but only loses 1 spot this time. Ooh, that could have been close. But the 69 now into 2nd, as the top group starting to spread out just a little bit. We got a side-by-side battle back here with Maborowski just holding off the 99 of Beijing B for 7th place. Dave Bialois going to be hunting down the Faber now. As I saw back there, Max Cold made a little bit of a lunge move on Tetsu. It didn't work, but it was a good effort. Nine's going to be drafting the 50, 69. Gonna need to pick up some pace. Right there. It's all about these slipstreams that you gotta take advantage of. As the Faber gonna try and go around the outside. Not gonna be able to stick. But I would definitely say that 69 is one of the fastest cars currently on track. Now towards the hairpin, the Faber just gets ahead, and that was very nicely done. So now the 69 goes to the lead. Ahead of that 83, let's see if he can try and break away. An unforeseen winner, possibly. Currently pretty down in the points, but it'd be really nice if he can pull this off. Biggest movers so far, Saul Goodman up 9 spots, and then Rogero Espinel also up 9 spots. Biggest loser is OxyClean down 16 spots, obviously. But besides that, it'd be Spencer Alfredo down 6 spots. Actually, no, Chris down 8 spots. That must have been a pretty bad start. Yeah, the field you can see on the track map, they're all pretty much together. as that 83 is already caught up to the 69. How will they do into turn 1? The 83 shoots around the outside, and now the 16 goes by the 69. But I would definitely say that is not the end just yet, as the 16 goes a little wide. The father's gotta be setting it up. Battle for the lead still ongoing. So we have a car off track, that is the 14. We'll come back on track, currently down in 24th. As the 16 goes wide, he's off the track. He's gonna have to try and hold on to it. He's definitely gonna lose some spots. He is down to now 8th place. And just like that, he has a lot of work ahead of him to try and get to the lead. Just one wrong move. Now we come to lap 10. 69 is going to be right on the back of the 83. '69 going around the outside, pulls it off perfectly, and the 69's back to the lead, but the 83's not done. He's going to try and fight around the outside, but it's not going to work. And now it is. The 83 just getting it to stick. Let's see if the 69 can outbreak the 83 again. The 83 just pulls ahead. What a good battle for the lead that was. As now the 9 shoots to the inside of the 69. And now the father already back into 3rd place. As the 0 has gone off track. It has not been a good race for that 0 car. Down into 23rd. It's definitely not going to be helpful towards the championship at all. As now the father seems to have lost some speed, as now the 50 goes by him. The 51 now shooting to the inside, can't pull it off, but the father goes from 1st to 4th in 1 lap. Don't worry, he just needs to set it up and he'll be fine. He just has to hold off this 51. Gonna be a pretty big task, but back here we have to focus on the lead. If only I was able to pull up 2 screens to show what was happening. As another championship contender, and that definitely looks to be some sort of contact. As no, he just made a mistake, spun it around. And now as we go back live, he is all the way down in 24th. So both of our main championship contenders currently in some rotten luck. So that 83, the 9, the 51 are going to be able to capitalize on this. As now the sun goes off again, I think these tires may be starting to fall apart. Gonna have to see who can hold on. The 9 has to be drafting. Let's watch onboard down this front stretch. Got really close, but wasn't able to hold on. The 69 already back up into 4th. As now the 15 is the next car to go off track. But she already recovered. What a bizarre race it's starting to come out to be. Definitely gonna see some changes near the top of the point standings. If not some changes, it's just gonna get a little bit tighter. Definitely, this has been a really good track for racing. Tetsu now gonna go around the outside. Let's see how it works, and it is good. He doesn't even need the front stretch, but he's now gonna have to defend on the front stretch. Because that 83 is already catching him. That was a pretty close draw to the line. The 83 is gonna be on the outside. And we'll shoot around as now Gus Fring back to the lead. He's trying to go for his second win this season. Tetsu trying to go for his second. The 83 now gets passed again by Tetsu. It just keeps trading up at the front. It's actually going to be pretty close to see who led the most laps. If I had to guess, though, I think it's the 83. But we are just barely over halfway. We still have a lot of racing left. The 83 goes a little wide. Luckily did not go off track, but the 18, Diogo Sebastião, did. No major impacts, but just a little bit of off-roading. He comes back on track in 15th place, so luckily didn't lose a whole bunch of time. Now we see the 83 trying to catch the 9. Gonna have to send it around the outside. John Panini and Max Cole definitely gonna get some good points for their team today. As the Favre's now trying to shoot around him, and Gus Fring trying to defend from John Panini. Let's see how this goes. Max Cole may try and help his teammate. As now here they go down into the hairpin, the 83 just ahead of that 50. Now here they go, still side by side. The 83, however, will just get ahead. Now the 69 going to be battling that 50. And the Favre now moves into 3rd. Very nice racing throughout the whole field. The 9 has definitely built a gap. So now the 83 is going to have to try and work on that. But it's going to be hard without interference because the 69 is going to be there. And he'll shoot around the outside as now the Favre moves into 2nd. But now the 83 going to be fighting back. This is definitely not helping as the 9 gets to slowly sneak away while these two battle for position. It's about even. As the 69 goes a little wide, but will be able to hold on to 2nd. Got about 8 tenths in front of him to try and catch that 9. He can do really well in the second half of this lap. He can be there once he gets to the front stretch. But he's got to try and also get away from that 83. As the 83 just sneaks ahead again. However, not a really good exit. And losing time once again. The 83 and the 69 not really working together to try and catch the 9. As now the 69 is going to try and pass again. The father just shoots around, but now the 83 will obviously try and fight back. As Susses and Mogus just turned the fastest lap with a 129.7. As the 9 went a little wide. As the 50 and 51 battling a little bit. The 51 of Max Cold will just get ahead and move into 4th place. And now we're gonna have to start thinking about pit stops. Gus Fring's closing in on that 9, down to about half a second. Now back up to 9/10, just like that. We're definitely in range of pit stops coming soon. So, 2nd place cut down about 3/10 to 1st place that lap. About half a second quicker on that lap than the 83 was on the 9. The father definitely wants to try to get into 2nd, as now he'll try and shoot around the outside, just like how the 83 did, as now the 69 moves into 1st. A second and a half is now the gap between 1st and 2nd, and the 83 almost lost another spot to Max Cold. As we have another car off track that is missing Sock. He'll come back on track down in 20th. Unfortunately, the 69 and the 83 letting the 9 slip away. The more and more they battle, the better it is for the number 9. As the 83 now to the lead, and the 69 goes off. Don't hit the wall. He is going to lose some spots. Oh, what a great race it was for him. But now he'll come back on the track all the way down in 15th. As now the 51 is trying to battle the 83 for 2nd. Max Cold jumping on the opportunity and now is up into 2nd place. As the father has to get pushed all the way down into 15th. As now the 83 gonna try and pass that 51 back. Just a game of cat and mouse, as now the 51 may lose a spot to their teammate. John Panini in the 50. As now Tetsu comes in. Seems like everyone's coming in. Nobody... It seems like nobody has opted to stay out on track. They all came in at the same time. As Tetsu just gets out of pit road a little bit faster than that 83. Who's now down by about 3 seconds. Gonna have to try and work on that gap. So now everyone has fresh tires. Missing Sock is now reported as out of the race. I don't know what happened there. Maybe if we go back we can check. Nothing there, nothing there. Seems like we can't really find it. As now the field kind of spread out a little bit more. As the 17 has now gone off track. Spun it around, but he'll get going again. As, oh, the 60 of Saul Goodman spun around on cold tires. And now drops down to 9th. There's a quick spin though, he is already back up to speed. Now he's gonna have to defend from that 84. Currently in a battle for 5th is Beijing Beef and May Borowski. Borowski has had 2 of her best races back to back. As the 99 gonna try and go around the outside, but the 20 is gonna try and defend. Unfortunately, it just wasn't good enough. And now Mabrowski down into 6th. As I do have to say, up 16 spots, Rogero Espinel having his best race, currently running in 7th. It's all been going pretty well for that 10. Started all the way back in 23rd. The 20 now fighting back against the 99, trying to get her first top 5. Beijing Beef just trying to go for some more points. Let's take a look at fastest pit stop. I think the fastest one I can see is a 7.3 from May Borowski, so it's definitely really good pit stop there. Slowest one I see was a 12.2 from OxyClean, as the Favre is already back up into the top 10. Silently working his way up as the 20 goes around the 99 once again. Got 4 laps to go. These laps can go by really quick here. The 99 fighting back, but the 20's putting up some good defense. As the 60 has gone off again. As we also see the 46 has gone off. Some people didn't do too good of a job of warming up their tires, while others have, as there have still been some lockups, some going wides. a 1:29, new fastest lap from Tetsu. Let's see if the 9 can hold on. About 3-second gap up there. The battle for 5th still goes on, as now Eliza Doe sets the fastest lap of a 1:29.655, as Beijing Beef tried to make a move on the 20, but it just didn't work. Gus Fring cuts it down to 2.5 seconds up near the front, as the 20 is still holding on very well. As the 46 has gone off again. And so has the 14, who has also gone off. So some off-roading here up Phillip Island. A new form of racing that we have not seen with these cars. Two laps to go now. Gus Fring gets his fastest lap, as now John Panini sets the fastest lap of a 1:29.6. As John Panini has now gone off track just a bit. Currently off-roading into the wall just a little bit, but currently getting back on track. Oh, I think he may have broke something hitting the wall. Oh no. That was not good, as Kirishima now gets the fastest lap, as John Panini falls and just keeps falling, trying to get back on track, but I think the thing has stalled. And I think that's the end for the 50, as no, it seems like they got going again. Nope, they didn't. Heartbreak for number 50. They just got the fastest lap, and then they won't even get the bonus point from that, as Kirishima just beat it. As look at the 10. The 10's gonna go wide. Hold on to it. No, just slightly taps the wall. And all those spots that they gained are going away. And now they have stalled as well. As we are now on the white flag, Tetsu. One more lap, a 3-second gap between them and Gus Fring. It's going to be a good points day. Start off this race in 5th in points. As the 9 has gone wide and may have just thrown it away, as Gus Fring is going to be there, but will he be able to catch him? Oh, this is going to be close. The 9 may have just screwed it up. It's going to be a close one. The 83, gotta try and get this turn perfect. Gonna have to try and make that pass, as here they go. The 83 is there and is going for the pass. If he can't get it, he's gonna have to draft. This is gonna be a close one. How will this go? It's side by side. The 83 just ahead. It's gonna be a drag race to the line, and it's going to be... Oh my god. I think it was Gus Fring. I think Gus Fring just got at the line. And we have a new closest finish. Gus Fring gets the win by 4 thousandths of a second on the 9. What a finish! Oh, that 9 could have had it. And then they messed up this one turn. And then the 83 just at the line. That was really good. What a race. That I can safely say this track is gonna be back next season. And probably the season after that. As not only is that the closest road course finish, that is the closest finish in UAL history. Whoa. Two good finishes in a row for UAL. I knew this track was going to have a good finish, and it did. So Gus Fring, your winner, just barely at the line. As now, let's pull up your results. Gus Fring wins, and on this it says 3,000th of a second, and this has been more accurate, so I definitely say that is the realistic time. As Max Coldwell finished third, Beijing Beef just, I don't know what to say, Beijing Beef just beat May Borowski at the end to get fourth place, Borowski in fifth. That is their new best result. David Bialois in sixth, Chad Broski seventh, eighth Diogo Sebastian, ninth is the father. Could have been a good result, maybe even a win. 10th was Karishima. I think they were the biggest. No, they weren't actually the biggest mover, only by one position. 11th was Phil Slow. Didn't really go as they had planned. 12th, Sussus Amogus. That is your biggest mover. Up 12 spots. Eliza Doe, 13th. 14th, Spring Roll, and then 15th, their championship rival, Chris. 16th, Saul Goodman. 17th, Jacques Croissant. 18th is Spencer Alfredo. Also had a pretty rough race. And now we get into the people who had the roughest race. OxyClean just screwed it up really early on, made up some spots, but then started losing them again. Rogero Espinel could have been their best result in their first top 10, but instead it's a 20th. Wine Silly Man, we saw make a couple mistakes. The Sun, Mahavir Raghunathan, John Panini could have been his first podium of the season, but instead it's a 24th, and then 25th is Missing Sock. So, what another finish we had in this series. Phillip Island definitely produced. And now we look forward to the next race, which will be at Road America. Um, so two really close finishes in a row, two more records broken. Congratulations to Gus Fring and uh, uh, I guess I'll see you all at Road America. Goodbye.